A huge arena floods with light. Cameras pan to gowns, glitter, skin, and then catch a black hoodie silhouette walking past flashbulbs without flinching. At the height of an industry that prizes spectacle, Billie Eilish covers everything from her neck to her wrists. In a Calvin Klein campaign, she explained why. She chooses baggy clothes because they protect her from unwanted commentary on her body, adding that nobody can have an opinion because they haven't seen what's underneath. This isn't about hiding insecurity. It's about reclaiming agency in a world quick to objectify. While other pop stars strip down, Billie's zipped-up wardrobe sparks debates about autonomy, consent, and self-respect. And this choice isn't an anomaly. Across the music world, artists turn old virtues into new power. How do chastity, temperance, charity, diligence, patience, kindness, and humility manifest in an industry built on rebellion? To find out, let's unpack the virtues one by one, starting with the young woman who made oversized hoodies an act of defiance. And as we explore the virtue of modesty, we'll soon see how another star took the opposite temptation, alcohol, and chose moderation instead. Chastity, modesty, Billie Eilish's armor. Billie Eilish was barely a teenager when she became a global icon, and the pressure to present her body a certain way was immediate. Instead of conforming, she wrapped herself in oversized t-shirts and baggy pants. In an ad for Calvin Klein, she articulated her reasoning. Baggy clothes prevent others from judging her shape and let her control the narrative. She doesn't owe the world a glimpse of skin to prove her worth. When an image of her in a tank top went viral, the internet's fixation proved her point. This deliberate modesty challenges the idea that pop success requires sexualized packaging. It's chastity defined by autonomy rather than repression. The reaction was intense, both praise and backlash, but her commitment never wavered. By choosing comfort over voyeurism, Eilish shows that staying true to yourself can be rebellious. She made baggy clothes an aesthetic, not a shield. In doing so, she flipped the script. Modesty becomes a power move, a refusal to be commodified. And while Billie's wardrobe drew lines between her and the world, another pop star faced a vice from within and decided to draw his own lines for the sake of his family. Next, we'll see how temperance and humility coexist in a red-haired singer who swapped shots for lullabies and once slept on train benches. Temperance and humility. Ed Sheeran's balance. Ed Sheeran built his career playing small pubs and busking on street corners long before he sold out arenas. Fame brought parties and endless drinks, and for a while he lived up to the stereotype. Then, as his first child arrived, he looked at the bottle and saw a problem. He told an interviewer he had been a party boy who drank every day, but he realized he didn't want to be drunk holding his kid, so he stopped hard liquor and vowed to grow up. He still enjoys beer or wine occasionally, but temperance, self-restraint became non-negotiable. He doesn't romanticize sobriety. He chose moderation to stay present for his family.
Humility runs alongside his self-control. In a 2015 interview, he acknowledged that his career wouldn't always climb. "I know that at some point, my career is not going to have the same trajectory it has now," he said. He's grateful for his success, but doesn't treat it like an entitlement. Sheeran also reminded fans of his roots. Before fame, he was effectively homeless, gigging at night and sleeping on London's Circle Line subway when he didn't have a couch to crash on. Those nights on public transport fuel his empathy and keep his ego in check. Together, temperance and humility paint a picture of a superstar who understands limits, both to his consumption and to his fame. If moderation is about holding back, our next virtue is the opposite, pouring out resources to lift others. And no one embodies charity like a country legend who mails millions of books. Charity, Dolly Parton's Library of Hope. Dolly Parton is more than a rhinestone-studded superstar. She's a philanthropist with an eye on the youngest readers. In 1995, she founded the Imagination Library, a program that sends a free book each month to children from birth until they enter kindergarten. What began in her Tennessee hometown now serves millions of kids across multiple countries. Parton didn't stop at literacy. She donated $500,000 to Fort Sanders Medical Center, bolstering healthcare in her community. She even championed wildlife, earning a U.S. Fish and Wildlife Partnership Award for her support of a bald eagle sanctuary at Dollywood. Her generosity goes beyond writing checks. After wildfires devastated East Tennessee in 2016, she launched the My People Fund, giving $1,000 a month to families who lost homes. When COVID-19 hit, she funded vaccine research and recorded bedtime stories for kids stuck at home. Charity for Parton is both systemic and personal. She uses her fame to open doors to education, healthcare, and conservation. She's proof that you can be wildly successful and wildly generous at the same time. But while Dolly was building libraries, another young artist was quietly building a resume of TV gigs and auditions, until her diligence put her on a world tour and a philanthropic mission of her own. Diligence. Sabrina Carpenter's climb and give back. Sabrina Carpenter's early career looked like a marathon, not a sprint. Raised in Pennsylvania, she posted cover songs on YouTube before landing her small-screen debut at age 11 on Law & Order's Special Victims Unit. At 12, she cheered on Facebook about landing 2 pilot roles. By 14, she was starring as Maya Hart on Disney Channel's Girl Meets World, a role that lasted 3 seasons. While classmates went to homecoming, she was memorizing scripts and recording music. After the show ended, she didn't coast. Carpenter released albums, toured relentlessly, opened for Ariana Grande and later for Taylor Swift's Eras Tour, and eventually headlined stages once reserved for her idols. Her work ethic extends to philanthropy. In partnership with the nonprofit Plus One, she launched the Sabrina Carpenter Fund. Within 12 months, it raised over $1 million. $1 from every tour ticket automatically goes to charity, supporting mental health advocacy, LGBTQ+ rights, and animal welfare. Plus One founder Marika Anthony Shaw called her approach a new standard, where impact is woven into an artist's career. Carpenter also donated unique items to charity auctions and supports cancer research. Diligence, in her case, isn't just grinding for fame. It's using her growing platform to ensure her success lifts other people. Working nonstop gets you far, but sometimes the bravest move is to stop. One young superstar learned this the hard way when constant touring collided with mental health, and patience became his lifeline.
Patience, Shawn Mendes and the Pause That Heals. In summer 2022, Shawn Mendes looked at his packed tour schedule and felt dread instead of excitement. On social media, he admitted he had jumped back into touring too soon after the pandemic and realized the toll of the road had caught up with him. After conversations with his team and health professionals, he postponed 3 weeks of his Wonder World Tour to take care of his mental health, saying he needed to heal and take care of himself. Eventually, he canceled the remaining dates altogether. The decision cost millions and disappointed fans, but patience, allowing time to recover, became more important than keeping pace. Mendes's choice reframed success. Progress isn't always linear, and slowing down can be an act of strength. He described feeling guilty at first, but ultimately realized that stepping back was necessary to come back healthier. His transparency encouraged discussions about mental health in an industry built on relentless output. Patience here isn't passive, it's deliberate healing. While Shawn took time to heal, another pair of artists used their time to act. Their kindness translated into millions of dollars and real help for families under unimaginable stress. Kindness, Ariana Grande and Justin Bieber's pandemic duet. When the world locked down in 2020, Ariana Grande and Justin Bieber teamed up to release Stuck With You, a home-recorded single whose proceeds were pledged to the First Responders Children's Foundation. A year later, the foundation announced that the song had raised more than $3.5 million. The net profits from all streams and sales funded scholarships for the children of first responders, gave grants to families facing financial hardship, and paid for funeral expenses of first responders and their relatives who died from COVID-19. Donations also provided temporary housing so frontline workers could safely quarantine away from their families. Kindness is practical and measurable. Grande and Bieber turned a catchy tune into lifelines for doctors, nurses, EMTs, and paramedics. They didn't just urge fans to clap for essential workers, they wrote a song that directly transferred money to those families. In doing so, they modeled how pop culture can react to a crisis with tangible aid. After generosity and care, the last virtue ties them together: humility. And fittingly, it circles back to someone who refuses to let superstardom drown out his roots. Humility. Ed Sheeran's grounded gaze. Humility isn't about self-deprecation, it's about accurate self-perception. Ed Sheeran's humility shows up in how he talks about his career and himself. He openly acknowledges that his current success won't last forever. Rather than clinging to the idea of perpetual fame, he treats it as a chapter. When he looks back on his journey, he doesn't romanticize the couch surfing or subway sleeping days. He references them to remind himself where he started. He also lends his platform to other artists, invites unknown performers on stage, and credits songwriters who help him craft hits. Humility doesn't dim his ambition. It keeps it in perspective. He can set goals like playing Madison Square Garden and selling millions of records, but he also shrugs off negative reviews and says he writes for himself first. Quirks might seem weird when you're young, but they make you stand out when you're older, he once said, encouraging others to embrace what makes them unique. By tempering ego with reality, Sheeran shows that humility isn't weakness. It's a compass that keeps him from losing his way.
Virtues on stage and off. The 7 heavenly virtues might sound archaic, but in pop music, they come alive. Billie Eilish's modesty challenges a culture of objectification. Ed Sheeran's temperance and humility show that moderation and groundedness can coexist with superstardom. Dolly Parton's charity mails books and funds hospitals. Sabrina Carpenter's diligence powers a career built from child actress to chart-topping singer while raising over $1 million for causes. Shawn Mendes' patience demonstrates that stepping back can be the bravest choice. Ariana Grande and Justin Bieber's kindness turns a song into scholarships and housing. Humility threads through many of these stories, reminding us that longevity depends on perspective. These virtues aren't PR strategies, they're personal values that shape actions, relationships, and legacies. They show that pop is more than flashy outfits and viral hooks. It's a stage where ancient ideals still resonate. When artists choose virtues over vices, they don't just avoid scandal, they change lives. And that's a melody worth replaying long after the last encore.